Well, good morning. Thank you. I want to say my thanks to the organizers for casting a wide net today. Clearly, we're the Office of Economic Initiatives for the City of Tucson. We don't conduct any basic research, but we love basic research and we love what comes out of that basic research. So to formally introduce myself, Kevin Burke, I'm the Deputy Director for our office. We're the economic development team for the City of Tucson. We're a team of about 10. We're formerly a part of the City Manager's Office. We coordinate with a bunch of city departments as well as external actors in both public and private sector with our primary mission of capital investment and job creation here in our community. So I'll step through a couple of slides very quickly. One of the things that we do is sell Tucson. So you're all here for a reason. There are a bunch of different reasons that people love Tucson. So we like to highlight a few of those. A lot of our work takes us outside of the Tucson community where people have varying levels of familiarity with all of the really great things that our community has to offer. We often get named in lists and we think these are great to highlight. Some of these you're familiar with, like the City of Gastronomy designation that Tucson has. And then you may not have seen, but just a few weeks ago, Forbes magazine called Tucson the best city for pet owners in the entire country. So we'll take it, right? We don't do economic development alone. We like to say it's a team sport. Some of our partners here in this room, we call it, our economic development ecosystem. So the City of Tucson, the University of Arizona is a key partner for us in a lot of ways, as are all of the state institutions, Pima Community College, the county we work really closely with, and then organizations like the Arizona Tech Council, who are, helping to provide a bridge between what we do in the private sector and, in the public sector and the private sector activity that's going on all around us. Talk about some of our recent successes, a longer list than this, but I just wanted to highlight a couple of really unique projects that are happening here in Tucson. A couple of months ago, we made an announcement jointly with Pima County, one of the first mega projects to locate in Tucson. This will be American Battery Factory. They're going to construct a $1 billion plus battery manufacturing facility, which will be located out at Aerospace Research Campus, south of Raytheon, down south of the Tucson International Airport. Scion Power is a local company that's been in town for about 30 years, but we're helping to facilitate their expansion. They're essentially following the trend of onshoring some manufacturing operations that were previously not in the United States. And so they're going to be manufacturing batteries and equipment here in Tucson as well. And then for those of you who are on the far east side, you probably are already aware, but Northwest Hospital has opened a new full-service facility within the last 18 months. So that's another example of the types of projects that we and our office likes to get involved in Tucson, again, facilitating job creation and capital investment throughout the community. We do all of this work basically in furtherance of the goals that are set by the City of Tucson's mayor and council. We have a guiding document. We refer to it as the Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy. It's a strategic plan for our team. Out of that, we've identified a couple of goals. So first and foremost among those is to grow Tucson's existing small businesses. We do love to work with our existing businesses in the community, find out what their opportunities are, where we can help them grow and expand and keep doing what they're doing. As I mentioned, we are also attracting dollars from outside of the community. That's a big part of our traditional economic development operations. We also have branched out over the last couple of years. A lot of this was spurred on by the pandemic, but working with the entrepreneurial ecosystem here in Tucson, trying to move folks, give them the resources that they need to follow their own passions and dreams and start businesses of their own. A lot of this is in support of the mayor and council's goal of economic mobility and wealth creation for all parts of our community. So target industries, a lot of them represented here today, but we try to build on our strengths. So aerospace and defense, transportation and logistics, bioscience, renewable energy, and then it was mentioned earlier, photonics and optics, which is huge for Tucson and this community. One of the things that we are also selling is the workforce. And so all of our institutions are represented here. We love to talk about all of the great work that's happening at the University of Arizona. We also are selling Arizona State University, Pima Community College, and the entire educational ecosystem here, which includes our district schools and really unique things that we have like JTED, the Joint Technological Education District, which is moving folks towards career readiness as a sort of high school path alternative. So I mentioned location is one of the things that we use as a selling point. Just as a point of reference, these are major rail connections. Tucson is a hub for these transportation connections, both to like major ports in Long Beach, as well as south to Mexico and to Texas. So we have this really great location that helps benefit a lot of our industries here. Some of the great things we're working on right now that are coming to fruition, and just in case anybody's looking for a couple of 100,000 square feet that they're ready to move into their private business into a new facility. We work really closely with the Arizona State Land Department to try to entitle state land and make it available for future development. So one of the largest projects that we've done, we refer to as H2K, it's Houghton 2000. If you're familiar with the location of Tech Park, Arizona, out there at Rita Ranch in Interstate 10, if you go a little bit further east from there at Houghton, there's just over 2,400 acres of Arizona State Trust land that is now entitled for essentially high intensity commercial and industrial development. So that's a site that we're targeting in cooperation with the state of Arizona and our other economic development partners to try to lure large manufacturing projects like semiconductor and battery manufacturers to the community. The Bridges is a project that probably many are familiar with since the U of A has multiple facilities there. We're helping to attract new tenants to the Bridges as well. We have other projects in the pipeline as well that will create shovel-ready development sites for businesses either expanding here in Tucson or moving to Tucson from other places. The city does offer some limited financial incentives for companies. We have a couple of ways that we do that. The primary jobs incentive is again focused on what I mentioned, job creation and capital investment. So if your company meets certain benchmarks, the creation of 25 well-paying jobs, a capital of investment of greater than $5 million, we collect construction sales tax on that work that the private company is performing and have the ability to rebate that back to the company for certain costs like the creation of infrastructure or even job training and permit fees. We also have a really unique incentive that's applicable only in the downtown area, but if you see a lot of the downtown construction that's occurred over the last 10 years, many of those were built with essentially gap financing provided by the city through the government property lease excise tax. So if you think about, just as an example, the AC Marriott building, the building is presently owned by the city of Tucson, and as the owner, that property is off the tax rolls. So that allows us to create essentially a tax incentive for the developer of that building. In 8 years, that property will roll back onto the tax rolls and be paying full freight. But for the 8-year period, when it's on the city's, when it's under city ownership, provides a pretty substantial financial incentive for new projects like that to become economically viable. So with that, keep it short, but this is me, Kevin Burke, the city of Tucson. We're really happy to be here. And again, thanks for allowing us to participate. I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have.